Graphic details. July 16, 22, Bandera County, Texas, Chief Deputy King told a journalist that remains found July 3, 22 or 33-year-old, Brittany McMahon. He ruled suicide, yet medical examiners don't know. Sleuths in USA are skeptical. Brittany McMahon's mother speaks.
The last day that I heard from Brittany was on Father's Day. She called me around 10:30 off of Jerry Pipkin's phone. And she said that she was tired of dealing with the people out there, and I told her, okay, Brittany, I'm on my way. I don't think that she heard me say that, and I didn't call her back. I should have, but I mean, maybe I didn't say I was on my way, but I always indicated something to that effect whenever she would call, and you know, I'd always go and pick her up and take her wherever she wanted. I'd take her to get something to eat because she was always hungry, and give her some money, you know, make sure she had food to take with her, you know, whatever. I never let her do without, because she chose to live in her truck or wherever due to her own way of life. So my sister and I got in my car and we went all the way to Bandera, to the other side, out to Old Loop 173, which is where Brittany was staying. And I went to this one house first because I knew that person and I knew how to get to that person's house. And I asked if he had seen Brittany, and he was like, no. Well, this other guy came up and he was like, well, I know someplace we can go and check. And I was like, okay. I can't remember the kid's name, and I asked him, and he was like, well, what do you want it to be? He was being sarcastic. That's fine, you know, whatever. I later found out what his name is, and I'm not going to put it out there because that doesn't matter. So he took me around, and so he led me over to Cindy Pipkins, which is Jerry Pipkin's wife. She took me around to some places. She took me to Michael Rablowski, I believe his name is. I was in the front seat, Cindy was in the front seat, and my sister was in the back seat. And Cindy did the most of the talking to him. We each got his phone number. I don't know if I gave him mine or not, but he gave me his phone number. Well, in his statement, in the paperwork that I had to pay $600 for, he said that I said she had drugs and she was going to take them and kill herself.
Oh.
Well, that's a crock.
Mm-hmm.
I never said that.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs was not even brought up. This was out at the loop.
Okay.
I was out at the loop searching for Brittany. So him and one of the officers, they had a conversation. Well, it's funny how each of them knew each other's first names and knew each other's voices, which tells me that they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
So his statement of Brittany had drugs and was gonna take these drugs and kill herself, that's a crock of shit. And I have two other witnesses, my sister and Cindy Pipkins. No drugs, no pills, whatever, was never brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Just, have you seen Brittany? And actually he had the day before, Mo had given somebody he had some rings that he had gotten from Mo, and he wanted to turn them in. And the two were very friendly. They were first name basis and knew each other's names and voices. So that tells me that they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
They know each other well. We went to another lady's house. I won't say her name because I don't know how she would feel about that. But we went to another lady's house, and she said that Brittany slept on her back porch the night before, but she had left. Well, Brittany had told me that she had left her stuff in the wood because she didn't have her truck. Her truck had been taken to Pipe Creek. It was at a friend of mine's house.
Mm-hmm.
She was getting parts for her truck. It was actually my dad's truck, but I had given it to her for her to have, and she was trying to get parts to get it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Because after all this stuff was done, she eventually wanted to go to the coast and live.
Mm-hmm.
But she wanted to be free out from underneath Bandera County and whatever, you know, everything that she was going through. She wanted to be able to move to the coast and live and build her business.
Yes.
So she didn't have her truck. So she was, kind of staying wherever. On June the 1st, I had taken Brittany to the hospital. I had taken her to the ER in Kerrville that said Peterson, because her and Mo had gotten into a fight and he broke her wrist. He threw her off a porch or something. And I had taken her the week before that because she had a dog bite. So when I took her on June the 1st, they looked at the dog bite because she had been there the week before with that, and they did an x-ray of her wrist. Well, she had a distal radial fracture to her left wrist. She was in a soft cast.
Yes.
I was supposed to take her to see an orthopedic surgeon, and I couldn't do so because, believe me when I tell you, you can be too poor. She didn't qualify for any government assistance because she was too poor. I went looking for her on Father's Day, and I didn't find her. I didn't get home till 7:30, 8 o'clock that night. I mean, I searched for her everywhere. And I never did find her. So, after 72 hours, because I didn't know that you didn't have to wait 72 hours, that I could have reported her missing immediately. I've always been under the impression that because when you're an adult, you have the right to disappear. So I thought that, I had to wait the 72 hours. Well, I've since found out that's not true. I could have reported her immediately, but I didn't know. When I called to report her after the 72 hours, the officers that came to my house, I begged them. I said, please, do not take this lightly. My daughter's not running. She's missing. She's missing. She's not running from anything. She has no reason to run. Well, I don't even know what they did. I know that they knocked on a few doors. Have you seen Brittany? That's really all that I know. So when they found her body on July the 3rd, Brittany's skull was behind Cindy and Jerry Pipkin's trailer. Cindy was afraid to report it. She's the one who actually saw it because dogs were fighting over Brittany's skull and it was a commotion, and so she went out and she saw it. She was afraid to report it because she said that she had warrants. So she went to Camacho, and Camacho is the one who called and reported it. But he called my husband's phone by mistake because my husband and I put out flyers for just Brittany, but then we found out about Jordan, so then we made flyers for Brittany and Jordan. And at the top of the flyers, we had my husband's number in bold black ink. So Camacho mistakenly called my husband's phone first. And he was like, "Are you looking for Brittany McMahon?" And my husband was like, "Yeah, I'm her dad." And he goes, "Oh, I can't tell you. I have to call the law." So I want to know, how did he know that that was Brittany? And why, 3 days later, was he deported? If he didn't know something or involved in some way, why was he deported? That's a very good, valid question in my mind. How did he know that that was Brittany? And why was he deported?